Let Her Out is a small budget movie, but you won't know that by looking at it. This is perhaps one of the most visually impressive movies of the year. It's got a vivid color palette and camera use that is never boring. The makeup effects are completely realistic even when they're completely over the top. This movie has a look of a major studio production with millions and millions of dollars behind it. The film starts by showing us a hooker who is eventually raped. The intro of the movie is done with almost no dialogue and is told concisely. The intro ends and we are brought into the movie proper. It's 23 years later and we're introduced to Helen, the product of that rape. Or is she? Helen finds out she has a twin that died in utero and it was absorbed by her body. It is implied that perhaps Helen wasn't the product of rape, but perhaps the twin was. Anyways, the absorbed twin begins to take control of Helen's body, giving her blackouts. If you're reading this and think it sounds silly, well, this is a horror movie. Such silliness is more than welcome if it can provide some solid scares and an interesting peek at what it means to be human. Perhaps the twin isn't really taking control, and maybe Helen's brain is using it as an excuse to attack those who victimized her. But that would be giving this story too much credit. While I love this movie visually, its story has no depth besides bad twin gets out and does bad things. Any attempt to maybe use the bizarre situation to reflect upon the human condition is completely wasted. Part of it is how we have no real characters in the movie. They are just props that move the plot along. Even our main character, Helen, just seems to be there to occasionally be taken over by her twin. All the other characters exist to be victims of these episodes. Even the ending turns into little more than a creature feature with the evil twin going on an apparent murder rampage. The acting doesn't help at all. Some of it is serviceable and some is just downright bad. It was all rather disappointing. When so much good gets mixed in with so much bad, it's tough to end up good overall. And that's where Let Her Out ends up. I almost want to recommend it as a visual spectacle, but in the end, you'd have to watch the dreadful story, and that is something I cannot recommend.
Hey, if you like this video, please make sure to hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe. That helps me out a lot. And if you really love this video, consider visiting my Patreon page.